Hey, what's up YouTube? I'm your host, steamtowngamer, and today I'm rocking the Town of Light on the PS4. So this game is an indie, I think it is. I have never heard of this game before, and in fact, when I went to buy this game at the cashier in EB Games, the cashier didn't know about this game either. It is a R-rated horror game by the looks of it. It's got some very disturbing pictures on the back. Now I'm going to just read the back here. Play through the eyes of Renee, a 16-year-old girl who suffers from the symptoms of mental illness. She is searching for answers to the many questions from her past while exploring this place where she spent most of her youth. Guide Renee through dark and emotional journey where the lines of entertainment, storytelling, and reality blur. So I've played maybe about 10 minutes of this game. I basically just got into the insane asylum and that was about it. Okay, the Town of Light is based on real events, places, and research concerning mental illness and the life of patients in Lieutenant asylums from the beginning of the 20th century until their closure. It contains stories which may be disturbing. The characters and names are fictional, and any reference to people living or dead is purely coincidental. This game uses an artistic impersonation of a former Italian psychiatric institution for dramatic purposes. Please note that mental health services are readily improved around the world. If you think you may have physiological problems, please speak to a local doctor or specialist. I have never seen a warning like that, actually advising people that if they have a mental illness, or you think you have a mental illness, please proceed to contact someone. I've never seen an advertisement for like that. It is crazy. I should also mention that this game is rated R and it says refers to sexual violence, so I really don't want to get into that. But what's interesting about this game is it actually comes with some photos. Now I'm going to put these photos up on my Facebook page. That's steamtowngamer, just on Facebook, look it up. It comes with 4. Now, I'm believing that they're telling a story about Renee, the 16-year-old girl. Her story is make-believe, but they've used real locations, real events that have happened in the past, and they've added them into this story. They're making reference to them. That is basically crazy. I should have hit that button soon. So I was just at EB Games, strolling along, looking at the Christmas deals because it is getting closer to Christmas every day, obviously. But
what is this place? Maybe I'm dead.
So you can look around,
see any light.
And everything is
Maybe
new. She's scared. She doesn't know what's going on.
I can't get up. What's going on? What's happening to me?
I'm not doing this, by the way.
But these noises. God, my head is killing me.
So this is a girl who suffers some severe mental illnesses. Probably schizophrenic, short-term memory loss, long-term memory loss, and has spent most of her childhood in psychiatric facilities, getting transferred from one to another. And it appears that now that she's grown up a bit, she is going back to sort of find out stuff about her past. Now, obviously, it's not going to be as simple as that. She's got to discover things that have influenced her throughout the way. This is what I'm speculating on. This is my best guesstimate. Reality fades away as my skin falls off. I couldn't really read that. Every breath is exhausting and extraordinarily painful. That's inspired by real events. So I played 10 minutes of this game. The reason I went back is because there was a sound issue. I was recording it and then I was like, oh, she's talking, but I can't hear it. Why can't I hear it? Is it just the way the game is designed? No, my little game recorder was having a bit of a moment. So you can interact with things. You can sit on this thing, push forward. I'm going to get off. We can go on the swing, we can go on the slide, we can go on the teeter-totter. I think that's what some people call it. Now there's nothing in this building over here. We can go in, but it's nothing. The only thing that building teaches us is that we can interact with the door and we can turn on a flashlight. That is it. So let's proceed, shall we? So the graphics on this game are incredible. I've never heard of this game. It is an indie game for sure. The price alone would give that off, but the graphics and the atmosphere of this game is just incredible. It's another artistic game, which they're producing a lot of nowadays. If you recall, not long ago, I was rocking The Tale of Two Brothers, which was so emotional. I nearly cried. I teared up, that's for sure. That's how emotional that game was. And I have a feeling I'm going to do that again. This seems to be one of those games where the more you play it, the more you find out about this game. You understand the atmosphere, but you physically find new things. So there's a picture of this, I think.
This place. Time. Memory.
So this reminds me of, or at least this park that we just went through, reminds me of a tennis court that was abandoned. Basically, there's a small town that I visit some family members in, and there is this tennis court there. And it's like, it shows that people went there and there was a community and there was events held there, and it's just abandoned now, and it looks almost identical to that. I mean, with all the trees and shrubbery and how the dirt is just covering the concrete, and it just reminds me so much of that. It's crazy. So we can look around, we can find things like this. Added synapse menu. Renee's diary, experiences. That's what she's talking. The town of light. Blank. Whoa. Oh. Hang on. Show text. My memory of these years is a haze. Now, I do apologize. I suck when it comes to reading things out loud.
Between the age of about 7 and 10, my memories are disconnected, and I couldn't say how many times and how frequently the light used to come. My mother gave me a doll around that time. Charlotte. Thinking back to it makes me want to laugh. But at the beginning, I remembered that I was afraid of her. I thought she wanted to harm me, to kill me and take my place. But when the light came, she would stay beside me. And her presence.
And her presence what? Do not disturb me.
Did not disturb me. I was able to talk to her, and so she became my best friend. At least until I was in grade 2, when everything changed. She didn't laugh at me, and if I had to say something to my mother, I asked her to say it. When things inside me turned bad, she was the only one I could turn to. Now all of this makes me blush, but Charlotte was a real friend to me. I knew that she was just a doll. I wasn't stupid. But at the same time, she was real, too. I don't know how to explain it. It's difficult. My mother would cuddle her and tell her things. I guess she was trying to communicate with me. But back then, I was too afraid to understand it.
Okay, so that solves the problem. I suck
The
when
only thing I remember clearly is Charlotte, my doll.
This will show us where we are in this insane asylum. So I suck when it comes to reading things out loud. I do apologize for that. I've always sucked at that sort of thing. And it's awesome that they actually do that for you. I hate a lot of games with just a lot of unnecessarily reading. It becomes boring after a while and just sort of a pain in the ass. What the hell is that? That's all bars. We can't go through that at all. So this reminds me a little bit of Silent Hill. Just the insane asylum, all this walking around, all this craziness, the decay, the ruin. Now, I picked up Charlotte, and once I found Charlotte, then I realized the game wasn't recording a sound. So we can't proceed through that door until we pick up Charlotte. And you can look at these posters and it's like they're doing some horrific surgeries. I mean, there's removing people's fingers, just creating a stub, removing skin up. Is this like lobotomies or some shit? Is this sticking something behind it? Like, what the hell are they doing? I mean, I knew that back in like the 40s they experimented a lot with, you know, doing these horrific things on patients in order to try and get them well. I mean, they would throwing stuff at the wall to see what stick. Locked. So these have a little lock on them, which indicates that they can be opened at some point. Now I'm going to pick up Charlotte. This will trigger a small cutscene. Then anything after that, I don't know what's going on.
Mummy took good care of Charlotte. She tucked her in, hugged her, gave her cuddles and kisses. She was very affectionate and loving. Nothing bad happened to Charlotte, and that surprised me. I didn't understand. At first, I was quite scared. I was afraid that she wanted to hurt me. I lived in constant fear that Mom would abandon her. Because I didn't deserve to live. I didn't deserve to be loved.
Okay, so that sort of opens things up a bit. Her mum was treating the doll as if...
It's dark. Look, she's cold. She'll get ill. We can take care of her. Nobody can stop us. Charlotte is a good girl.
Chapter 2. So we made it to chapter 2 now. Anything after this, I don't know what happened. So her mum was clearly crazy as well, cuddling, kissing, tucking the doll in as if it was her child, and she was surprised that nothing bad happened to the doll, which indicates that bad things were happening to her. I don't know what. She was probably getting beaten and mistreated, that's for sure, and was surprised that her mother was so loving to an inanimate object. So I'd say a lot of her, Renee's, you know, a lot of her mental illnesses probably come from a lot from her mother. Her mother was crazy and she raised crazy. Okay, we can't go through there. The master switch that powers the lift is downstairs and it's been disconnected. Now the back of this, look, more of these weird operation tables. It's a head. That is, I'm pretty sure that's a lobotomy. That is pretty messed up, yeah, but that looks like a lobotomy. Perhaps this is the door we can go through?
Charlotte is cold. Let's take her somewhere warm.
So she came back to retrieve her doll that she left here all these years ago. Now, I don't know how long this place has been abandoned like this. Probably a decade at least. I'm not really, you know, an expert of judging how old things are. I don't know how long a place like this takes for it to sort of go. I know that things age significantly more when the windows start to get blown out. Once the windows break.
Sure, it's warm in the sun, but it gets cold in the evening, and that's not good for Charlotte.
Okay, that indicates to me that we need to go back in.
I saw a wheelchair on the ground floor. It's comfortable there, and we can put Charlotte somewhere warm.
Okay, so we're going to find a wheelchair, which is on the back of the cover of the game, of this doll sitting on a wheelchair, which is very creepy. And there's another one of this horrifically terrifying woman in a straitjacket. It looks like she's trying to inflict violence on you. This is what we need to find, I think. Well, I guess that's connected now, but let's see if we can find that wheelchair. I know that I'm just wandering around, but she said there was a wheelchair on... There it is. I'm guessing we can put the wheelchair down and then go through that door.
Charlotte will be comfy here. But it's cold. No, it's cold. Don't shiver, Charlotte. The cold will go away. It'll go away.
Okay, so we're pushing the wheelchair around.
He doesn't want to. No. In the town of light, he doesn't want to.
I don't know what that means. So my vision is slightly impaired while I'm pushing this wheelchair around. Okay, so it's working now. This is a very slow game, I must say, but then again, that game, Two Brothers started off very slowly and then it started to escalate shortly after. Can we go down even lower? No, up or down. Doesn't work unless the doors are closed again. So I've seen a lot of YouTube videos of people, you know, checking out these abandoned places, and it looks a lot like this. And of course, an abandoned insane asylum is probably one of the best things to check out. You know, all the medical equipment that just, you know, they just left. A lot of the places they just left this in the middle of in the middle of what they were doing. I think I know where to go, because there is a picture with some surgery lights on the back of the cover, and that is a huge indicator of where we need to go. There's these, yeah, surgery lights. If you've ever got this game, you will see the back of the game out of the cover and actually see for yourself. And I've saw them in a previous play. Yes, here we go. Oh, and the music. So I'm just going to proceed forward, and I'm guessing that some sort of cutscene will take over. Yeah, we're going to keep her in the lights here.
The cold has gone away now. You see? The light. The warmth. We can do it. The cold will go away. It has to. Now we can enter the ward where everything started.
The ward. So we have to go to some ward where they were doing something bad to her. Have these lights always been on? This would probably be the ward. Remember, these insane asylums were pretty fucked up, even by today's standard, where they did horrific experiments on their patients, and in many cases ended up doing more damage to the patients than they could ever do to themselves. You know, the whole electroshock therapy, the whole just they experimented. That's what they did. They threw these, you know, patients at the wall to see what would stick. So the concept of these people doing something horrifically disgusting on a girl, it's just horrible. Okay, that's obviously the ward that it all started in. Oh, okay. Things are finally starting to amp up. My guess is that she's getting escorted down this hall, or possibly getting pushed in a wheelchair. Like, this is the memory of her. And my guess is that we're going to get to the end of this corridor. What the fuck? Okay, we're going to get to the end of this hallway and then find out they're doing some horrific experiments where they were zapping her brain, or I don't know, injecting her with some serious drug, spinal tapping, I don't know. Proceeding forward, come on. Here we go. I guess not. Okay, the light is very bright. Now, she was very young at this time. She still had the doll. Now, I don't know how old she is.
One day I turned off the light, but it didn't go dark. It was a limitless immensity, a blinding, merciless light. I was 16 years old, and I was afraid, always afraid, a fear that wore me down, I needed help, but I couldn't speak.
Was she
I was
paralyzed?
terrified of everything, even thinking. They said they were taking me to a place where the fear would go away, where I would get better. I stopped living in there. They dragged me away and stripped off all my clothes, everything.
Oh.
I tried to explain what was going on in my head. They tied me to the bed for days. I was alone with my nightmares. It wasn't fear anymore. It was madness. And when you're mad, you cease to exist.
So that's pretty fucked up. Is that another patient? Looks like another patient. She's tied to... She's when she couldn't pull out. She might even have a muzzle on.
She was my only hope in this hell. I was descending down among the damned. But that woman and her smile kept me alive.
Okay, so we're back in here. So this is where it all started, I guess. This is when she was first diagnosed and sent away at the age of 16. Chapter 3. So the game has opened up a lot now. It's so sad what happened to her. I mean, just... They pulled her in, they took off all her clothes, strapped her to the bed for the first few days at least, and then like put her in a room with all these other people who are equally crazy, if not more, who would be significantly more crazy. I mean, this is just how bad things were back in those days. They had an influx of horrifically, unstable patients. They didn't really know what they were doing too.
The door is locked from the outside. Here, the doors can only be locked and unlocked from the outside.
Okay, it opened up. Locked.
You can't get out of here. Only the dead can leave this place.
Now, I don't know if this takes place, this whole game takes place in this one insane asylum. But it looks like her mother basically did things to her. Her mother was mentally ill herself and, of course, did horrific things to her, like basically abandoned her, probably abused her, things like that. And of course that made her crazy as well, and she got sent here, and she was so mistreated and so misunderstood. It's just so sad. It really is. Looks like her doll is probably one of the few things she's got going for her now. Okay, she looks like she's got a... Oh no, we can interact. Crazy. This seems to be the women's ward. The ones with the shaved head, they were probably done with the electroshock treatment, which we know is complete bullshit and not an effective way to treat patients, but it fries their brain, so they just turns them into... Oh, what's this asshole got here? He's got my doll. Hey, give that back. I have a feeling that he is luring us. Like this is some kind of trap. They wanted to get us out of that room without making a scene, and that when we eventually catch up with them, they're going to drug us and do more horrific experiments. Oh, I don't like that. I don't like... Yeah, this is... I have a feeling they're going to do something bad with that tub. We have to go forward. Yep. And... what's happening? This is based on...
He laughed, panted, and slobbered all over me. It hurt me when he touched me. I thought I'd suddenly split open with a loud crack, and I would be shattered into pieces. I felt fragile, sick, dirty, degraded. All I could do was clutch Charlotte tightly while he... Renee obeyed. He was the master in the realm of light. I was being consumed by the evil act I had committed. I threw up and could feel hell getting closer and closer. Those tests the doctors did to me. They said there was something growing inside.
Oh,
and
he
they
impregnated her.
wanted to drag it out of me.
Oh, that's so fucked up. Oh my god. Oh, he raped her in this tub and impregnated her, and then they gave her an abortion, probably without her consent. And oh fuck, man, she was 16 too. Oh, that's horrible. I mean, she was 16 when she was admitted. Who knows how long she's been in there? She may have been over 18, but that's not the point. Oh, that's so fucked up. I knew something bad was going to happen, but... why'd I play this game? I should have played a happy game. This is horrible. This isn't like the two brothers, the tale of two brothers, where something good eventually happens. No, this is all... oh, why'd I play this game? I guess we have to find the doll again. Or maybe the operation room. It seems that she had that woman with the smile was there to like comfort her. She said that this is where it all began, and maybe we just leave.
She stayed with Renee during those terrible medical examinations, and that gave her the strength to survive.
I guess that she's referring to that woman. And they were obviously examining the fetus growing inside of her. Of course, hopefully in some capacity, they realized who actually impregnated her, and well, they fired him at least, and hopefully at least put some damn charges on him. I don't know, like these events really did happen, and statistically this has happened in the world. I mean, not just in insane asylums, but like, yeah, statistically this has happened to patients before in the past, and well, it's just complicated to say the least. Now she still should be on the wheelchair. Yes, she is. I don't know where to go now. That's obviously another ward, which is probably another memory trigger. Maybe. Resume.
They went to the gynecology ward on the upper floor.
Gynecology, which is, you know, radiology. So yeah, we have to find gynecology. So my suspicions were correct. We have to find that small operating theatre. Is this it? Yes, it is. No, it's not. It appears that clicking on the bed has triggered something. So yeah, radiology. So our, X-ray. So hitting the on the upper floor, which is, hang on, I'll actually read the sign. Gynecology. This is the room. That is really disturbing.
August 21st, 1938. Confidential. Dear A, I know what you think about these things, so I'm referring a patient to you, Renee T. This wretched girl got out of control and caused trouble in the grounds. She's almost 3 months pregnant. The nurses should be more alert. I'm examining the girl on the 28th. I'll handle things very carefully, don't worry. We don't want to make matters worse. Then they said that Renee was crazy, and that the illness was all in her head. Careful, little girl, careful. I was scared, and I didn't talk to anyone about the illness. Only her. Not even the other doctor. He never touched Renee. He just wrote things down. You can tell me everything. Don't be afraid, he said. Everything's going to be fine. Do you want to know what I'm writing? I note down what I observe in you, everything I see. He didn't hate Renee. He tried to help her, but he rarely examined her in those small surgeries.
Small surgeries, which means that, yeah, they're, looking at what's going on inside of inside her. I don't need to say it. So the only real good person in here was the gynecologist. And of course, he's just a gynecologist. He can't really do much. So it's pretty messed up. Now, I'm not sure. I'm just going to... Oh, that wheel was moving. That wheel was moving.
The doctor who wrote things down was in Surgery C.
Surgery C. Well, I'm not seeing anything here. And I haven't seen anything here. Observation. So she wants to find what he wrote down. Well, there's no point reading that because that's actually in another language. I just realized that now. So Surgery C is written in Italian, so we have to go back up and see if it's there. You are here, nurses, patients, laundry, surgeries. There it is, 7. Six, 7. It's at the end of the hall. It's either this way. Okay, it's got to be this way then. Or down the bottom. whatever way, but it's surgery C is, well, surgeries is at the end of the hall, so we have to get to surgeries and find C. So I'm guessing it's got to be down at the bottom. That's going to be the only real way that we can go. This is observations. Pretty sure I tried this one. Well, it said surgeries number 7, which is the end of the hall. The doors aren't closing. I mean, they're just packed full of people. I mean, this is so fucked up. I can't sleep if there's other people in this room. Okay, well, the maps aren't really helping because we couldn't go that way, so surgery C. So the bottom doesn't lead to surgeries. The top does, but we couldn't get anywhere via the top. Maybe we have to find the doll again. I should also point out that it is 3:30 in the afternoon here, but at 7 o'clock I'm actually going to my high school reunion. So I'm kind of looking forward to that, and at the same time I'm not, because I'm sick as a dog, and you know. Nah, can't go that way. The doctor that wrote things down was in surgery C. Surgery 7, and it indicates 5. So it has to be this way. But we can't get to this way. Perhaps we need to check on the doll. That's where we found the doll. This door was closed though, wasn't it? It's got a padlock on it, so at some point we get to open that up. Nothing. The set of keys here. We can't pick up the keys. If we could, it would make things a hell of a lot easier. Here we go, the doll. Okay, I'm just going to make this the end of the episode for now. I'll definitely come back to this real soon. This is a real incredible game. I really want to see how this bitch ends. This is a indie game, so which probably means that it's not very long. I wouldn't be surprised if it's just a story of this girl and it doesn't really go much farther than this insane asylum. We're just constantly wandering around looking for something, and it just happened to be on hard copy. Anyway, like and subscribe and share if you haven't already. You can also check out my other channel called Back in Time Gaming 101. Which is basically where I play the old school games on like PS2, Xbox, sometimes Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, but mostly the AV consoles. I'm literally uploading Blood Rain now, so that's going to be pretty cool when that comes out. Pretty tits, I should say, because you'll get that if you check it out. Like and subscribe and share if you haven't already. Go ahead and leave a comment on what you think about this game, or what games you think I should play next, what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong, what you'd like to see. Just write them in the comments, let me know. So you know who I am, you know what I do. Catch you later, YouTube.